Hello there! What's up, guys? Yeah, it's me, Exotic7, the original creator of All-Star Smashers. Yeah, this is my real voice. Hope it doesn't sound too familiar. Anyway, so it's about time I started answering some questions, isn't it? Yeah, I am a little nervous. I don't really know how you're supposed to do a Q&A, but, let's get moving, shall we? What was your favourite moment from Hyperdimension Neptunia the animation? Well, honestly, that anime is so darn adorable that it's quite hard to tell, actually. So, yeah, many. I have many good moments with it. Although maybe the Super Nintendo scene, or just about any Mario reference, like IF quoting from Toad, so like when she said that the princess is in another castle. Those are some of the easy highlights to mention. Although honourable mention would go to that scene where the evil mouse falls in love with Compa because of her kind nature, which was also pretty interesting considering he's the bad guy. But still, talk about bestiality. Yeah, of course, as many people would know Neptune for, there's the funny.
Oh my, how lewd!
Why haven't I watched Kinero Mosaic? It's got British people. I don't think I pronounced it right, but oh well. Well, it's on my bucket list. I understand really wanting people to watch certain things, like I guess I can understand, but I'll give it a watch someday, alright? Speaking of that, did I know that it was on BBC News at one point? I didn't even know that BBC even focused on anime. What's the best meme of all time? Who isn't a meme nowadays? That's the big question. So, I don't know anymore. I remember the good old days that it used to be all, my boy. When I talk about All-Star Smashers, do I think of the song All-Star by Smash Mouth? Yeah, good song and all, but the coincidence kind of makes me cringe in a way. Oh well. Will Kawaii Crunch ever appear in All-Star Smashers? Probably not. For those of you who don't know though, Kawaii Crunch is made this alternative version of any random Horace Henry character that nobody cares about. In this case it's Mrs. Crunch, and drew her in young girl moe anime style, and made her in love with Henry. I only did it because I felt weird, okay? You know, draw what you feel. So yeah, she probably won't be in All-Star Smashers, but luckily most likely not. But if I work on some other series in the future, then I guarantee you she's going to be in that one instead, okay? She has to be in a video someday. When's the next update patch? When? I contain that very same question in my head, okay? But be patient. The Simpsons or Family Guy? Now, I've watched way more of The Simpsons, so yeah. When I did Empty Slot 4, how come Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls wasn't an optional choice yet? Bubbles and Buttercup were. You bad monkey. I know. Accidents happen. That is all. Will I ever try out other Yume Nikki fan games? Oh yeah, you bet I will. I should really try out LCD, Dem, and Me someday. Actually, believe it or not, I actually played Me, but eventually I gave up on it because it's way too many paths to explore, to the point where I'm out of luck in getting to explore everything the game has to offer, because really, I love that game from what I can tell. All the atmosphere and such, even though I haven't even got a single effects yet, a lot of that, what Me had to offer, was almost as luring as Yume Nikki itself. I'm indecisive though on which other fan games to acknowledge next, so remind me to do a poll of that in the future, because why not? Have I considered watching the Powerpuff Girls? If not, I should. It's probably the most famous show in all of Cartoon Network history. Even though I don't watch Cartoon Network, for some reason, I've just watched way more of Nickelodeon, mostly for SpongeBob and Penguins in Madagascar. But in my childhood, I haven't really been interested in watching the Powerpuff Girls, although if I do watch it someday, I probably won't watch the reboots though. It's just the old is better mindset, you know? Is Iffy my one true waifu? I don't know. Is this my diagnosis, doctor? The dirtiest I've ever thought about Iffy was the idea of giving her a big hug. Ever felt that way about a puppy or somebody's pet bunny rabbit? Not much different here now though, is it? It's all about the science between the cells and chemicals inside your body that biologically program us all to sense that emotional aura that makes you all feel all nice inside and determines how you react. Does Strongman Hillary himself know about being an All-Star Smashers? And has he seen his moveset? Yeah, he's seen it alright, but he doesn't know about Smash Brothers and how it works, so he wouldn't understand. He still liked it though, probably because he loves me too much.
Love is blind.
Is there anyone who lost an empty slot but I wish didn't? If so, who? Well, the answer to that would be you bet anyone who I'm planning in the future, so yeah, quite a lot of them. If I made Sonny's moveset sometime in 2015 where he became more sensible, would he have been a non-joke? Nah, no offense, but the idea of a non-joke Sonny just doesn't interest me. Who is the best Doki Doki Literature Club girl and why is it Monica? How should I know and why did you answer my question? What's the best song of all time? Well, to be honest, I listen to the Super Mario Odyssey lyrics songs and the Supersonic Racing theme for the Saturn for hours on end, so it's good that they're in Smash Ultimate by the way, although unfortunately I hear a good portion of the Sonic Racing theme was cut out of the Smash version for some stupid reason, so that's no good. Does this profile picture ring a bell? It's that dude from Mogeko Castle, right? I need to play that, don't I? Will I ever play Blank Dream or Mogeko Castle someday? Yeah, someday, but the risk is with trying out new games is that you never know how addictive they'll become. I'm trying to use my free time wisely, so maybe not quite yet, but I will get to it someday, I promise. What's the worst meme in anything of anything ever? Asperger's. Not that I'm on that part of the spectrum, but we still shouldn't be, common sense, we still shouldn't be making fun of what people are born with and can't help, and just a general thing, just general knowledge, You know what also steams me though? John Cena, the meme. It just feels like the only reason that meme exists is because his surname sounds like something else. Something that you wouldn't yell out on the street, similar to why everyone was so irritated by What Does the Fox Say?
We don't do that.
What do I think of Emily and Rachel Slade, and will they pop up in All-Star Smashes at some point? Well, they might do, but maybe not playable, because I feel like 4 SSP reps is more than enough. As for the actual opinions, well, for Emily, well, some characters can be both cute and legit annoying at the same time, whereas Rachel, I'm not really a fan of the gothic, yeah, whatever kind of characters, They could just go like, sigh, and just like, whatever. They just don't interest me that much, like Lucy Dowd, I don't have much to say about her. Sorry about the brutal honesty, bro. Do I believe in... Ooh, he exists, alright. He just so happens to be my daddy. Didn't know that when I was little, though, but it sure must be a hard job being my daddy. Will 2D from Yo Gabba Gabba be the next confirmed moveset, whoever that is? Well, I'm not the best with strangers, so... no. How do I feel about Adobe Flash shutting down? Well, as you can see, I'm clearly not smart enough to use it, but it must be a shame for the animators. I do feel sorry for them. Will I continue story mode? Yes and no. Now, don't expect me to focus on it too much if I do, since I don't want to restrict who's gonna join the fray, so fingers crossed on that one. Will you answer this question? No way, Jose! You're not my mummy, so stop nagging me! How did I get into Go Animate and what made me think of the name All Star Smashers? Well, back in the day, I used to be like everyone else and find Go Animate creepy because of the way text-to-speech was used on those Family Guy lookalikes. So when I made myself an account, it was just to comment because it didn't look like I could make any good videos on it due to the ones I saw weren't very good. Made me think that the site was too limited to make something that I actually found to be impressive. But when I eventually did make videos, they were all just now deleted troll videos out of Sonny Slaven because it was kind of a troll then, and that includes that time he fought Lee, which was the point where it came to my attention that just because most Go Animate videos are lazy doesn't mean that's the best you could do if you actually tried. So I gave it a shot, made the movesets, and here we are today. And to answer your other question, I recycled the name All Star Smashers from this paper-only project because when I was younger I used to write ideas for video games, but that were mostly rip-offs to ones I've already played, for example Mario Kart. But I usually only brainstormed ideas for stuff like characters, locations and items, and completely ignored the actual gameplay aspect of it all and how it should work, because it wasn't very original back then. So then I just decided that since my series didn't really feel like a LOL, like different kind of roster, I slapped the name on it, and I think that explains it. Whose moveset in the Go Animate eras am I most proud of? Various ones. Captain Underpants, first of all, not only for how I had to rip him from the books I own, which was a tough task, but I also had to colour him in a lot on the computer, and believe me, that is such a chore when it comes to that program. I used to do that. There's also Maxwell, because it's freaking Scribblenauts, a game that's all about using your imagination. There's Dan Goff, because science rules, and finally Chad Shronic, due to being able to pull off a character I knew literally nothing about until I started working on this video. I'll have to make sure next time to be more passionate if such a challenge ever occurs again. But yeah, quite a journey. Which characters did I consider but later scrap? You bet your butt off that I had a list of them back in 2015, but sadly it's in the trash, which is a shame to get rid of such a nostalgia note. But to make up for it, I will confess one character from each of the 3 divisions from the top of my head. So for official characters, also known as celebrities, I'm embarrassed to admit, but I actually had all plans for Waluigi. Wow! But hey, those were the Go Animate days where I took nothing with care or seriosity. That's why. So, self-explanatory why I scratched him. From the Go Animate division, well, if you've wandered to my wiki enough, there's a picture from a very old roster back when my plan was to just make 18 characters and then call it a day. So that technically answers your question, but on another plan that I never mentioned was to add my dad's dad, and he was really into planes. At the end though, I felt that going as far as to make a set for my uncle was enough, not to mention I am not an old-fashioned planes nerd like my grandfather was. And finally, from the toys section, I had plans for Roboraptor, but luckily you could just look him up to know who he is, but I don't have him anymore at home, because he took up too much house space. Not to mention, in Toy World's perspective, he's too big like Ridley, this time, the idea of shrinking him wouldn't change his over-wide hitbox. Either way, he'd probably make a better boss, but then again, I don't have him anymore. Is there any unused content on any current movesets? Lots. Where do I begin? Brad Till's option 3, as some of you might know, used to be him beating the crap out of the loser to represent his frustrated personality, but it turns out that I only made that because I felt that way about bashing Barciatus at the time,
We don't do that.
and I wouldn't really want Bradley beating up any other opponent like that, so I later decided to edit the video back to the elevator option, where, you bet there's way more beta elements, but all I'm gonna say is I really wish I didn't throw away those old pink notes I had back in 2014. Those were nostalgia bombs that would have made answering this question so much easier. Sorry, it's just a big question. Have I ever read Homestuck? Well, I can't say I'm completely uninterested in it, but the thing is, I have heard it's a very long webcomic. Doesn't look like the sort of thing you could really judge just by looking at it, but for the characters in LOL, Jade seems nice. John Egbert seems like the approachable nerd in Beatdown, but however, Karkut Vantus takes the cake for me. So I might check it out one day, but I need way too much free time for that. What is my best and worst moveset? Well, I gotta go with Maxwell, because despite the community standards changing over time, I still feel like the most complex movesets are always the ones that interest me the most, kind of like Bill Nye, J. Jonah Jameson, Captain N. My least favourite, I could go with the obvious one, but to be honest, I think Action 52 was either way too overrepresented or underrepresented looking back at it, so you bet he's getting a lot of changes. Who's my favourite and least favourite character? Will I be accepting, or at least considering, requests for a fighter similar to the ballots from Smash 4? One day I might wing it. If I could cut one character in favour of another, who would it be? And who would replace said character? Well, I could just do that right now if I wanted to, but I like my absurd turd as it is. Will Fred Flintstone have any slight references to
Granddad!
whenever it be a special move out or even mentioned in the trophy description? Definitely not a move, that's for sure. I don't know, what do you think? Should I mention it at all? Will there be a World of Light similar to how I had a subspace emissary? Well, hold on that thought. It wasn't exactly a subspace invasion. It was more like a squad of people who wanted to make everyone look fat at McDonald's so they can get grounded. Secondly, I've never really been a fan of how in Smash Ultimate the World of Light favours way more gameplay than story, and I like to favour story cutscenes and side-scrolling levels when it comes to those kinds of videos. So yeah, there's more chance of the current adventure modes being rebooted than there is of another World of Light but different. What's my opinion on Horror-Tenry on Nicktoons? Well, it's just Horror-Tenry but on Nicktoons. Are characters like Captain Underpants, Greg and Garfield's going to get any references to their movies? Mostly just audio, I'd say. I mean, I love the Captain Underpants movie and all, but the Waistband Warrior already had a lot of potential before it came out, so don't know what I was thinking when I gave him that down B, though expect that to change. Come to think of it, since there's a Captain Underpants TV show now, that means there'll probably be more access to coloured sprites. So, thank you Netflix! Where are the Go Animates characters from? Well, for a quick summary, I just want to make this serious clarification. I don't want to come across as creepy at all, but what I should have done in the first place was try to disconnect the characters from the people I encountered in real life. I just don't want to buck up anyone's personal rights, okay? However, some have their own YouTube channels that may just seem like plain generic content for the most part, but my general counter-argument to that? The way things are used matter more than the things themselves. Come to think of it as taking nothing and then making it into something and then do what you will. Will Kalu stay in his Go Animated design, since most of his moves are based on the original Caillou? Well, I'm gonna change his moveset, like severely. The one now really belongs to Caillou more than Caillou. Will Sonny turn into an actual fighter, or is he still a joke? Trust me, if I gave him a legit moveset, it would be pretty boring. Have I watched SMG4? Not a fan of it anymore, guess I outgrew it, but I still find Grounded's videos funny, so why does he listen to me? What's the most overrated SpongeBob episode? Probably A Pal for Gary, just because I've actually heard people claim that the writers have somehow wrote worse than this. Like, don't ask me how they can write worse than that. But then again, I haven't wandered enough reviews to stand my opinion tall, so take that with a grain of salt. Did I or any of my friends wet the bed when we were little? Actually, it's not really that embarrassing question, but not that I know of, although I kinda did when I was entering puberty, you know, and I kinda did the deed, if you know what I mean. Ever had a waifu from a cartoon? I honestly don't remember, because I gotta be honest with you, I don't even watch much TV these days, what with YouTube taking over. Not to mention, Starburst I can't count because she's only 14. Ever had diarrhea? Who hasn't? Nasty, isn't it? It's like taking a pee-pee from your butthole, and it burns! Will there be any other character remakes? Well, if you mean like what I just did with Lee, I don't really like how I made use of Brody and the Go Animate version of Caillou, which I will from now on be pronouncing as Caillou, not Go Caillou, like the way he's spelt. But yeah, expect the most changes for them, for the better. Wait, what? Do I believe in magic in a young girl's heart? How should I know? I mean, you're the expert. Heck, I've never even touched a girl. And not even in the safe, appropriate context either. Will All-Star Smashers have any Echo Fighters? No. However, Mutation Fighters aren't out of the question, although I have to admit I'm not a big fan of that name, unless anyone has a better name. Oh well. It's just a name after all, so don't worry about it too much. Do I have plans for the next empty slot? Yeah, I keep saying stay tuned this and stay tuned that, but truly I have a lot of content planned on my documents. So, Sebastian Ridings asked me if I like his laws, but unfortunately I'm not a huge fanboy of slideshows, so no. Sorry. Ask someone else. Who's the best fighter in All-Star Smashers? Who do I want for Smash Ultimate DLC? Well, I got my money on Crash Bandicoot, that's for sure. Although Banjo-Kazooie would also be cool, but sadly, though, he doesn't seem to be relevant anymore, so I doubt it's gonna happen. Gotta admit that making Tails and Rayman Spirits was a mistake. Okay, this question took a while to understand. Will any originals be given the original wall symbol? Or at least Hillary for some reason, he said, and nobody else. Well, whatever you're talking about, I think that would be overkill. And unless I just stuck to Hillary, which I don't see why you specifically bring him up. Will I make another character from Strongman Hillary's universe? Alright, you really seem to like Hillary, don't you? I don't blame you, he's a good man. But despite how many scrap content there are in All-Star Smashers, I never really planned or fancied another Strongman Hillary rep. And in case you're wondering, I have someone else for Hillary's rival. Yeah, I just never really fancied it, that's all. And finally, P.S. I liked my own comment because nobody else will. Hooray! Good for you! Now, I know this is not a question, but I kinda saw something that looked like a Super Mario question block at the end of this comment, so it kinda counts. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about the reply next to it. It says for me to do Story Modes Part 4. Well, I will do, but not today. can I do the empty slot polls right now, and no, whoa, www now. I'd rather wait till I got some of the more overdue movesets that I've already revealed done and out the way first, so I would wait for the moment. Can I make a moveset for the Picturica Penguin, please? I don't know, can I? Can you make a moveset for the Picturica Penguin? When the next empty slot? Well, I haven't even done Steve or Fred yet, so I'm very well behind my schedule, so I wouldn't see any time soon. As for if I've seen Nomad of Nowhere, I have not. I've only seen that one other Rooster Teeth show. Speaking of that... And that concludes it. I remember working on the Lee vs Sonny video in this very room, but double the time between then and now, and you get a decade already? I don't believe it. Any questions I forgot due to being recently added will be answered in this very description. So now it's my turn to ask you something. Hypothetically, if I were to work on another big series on this channel, what do you think it should be about? For examples, maybe RPG fights, reviews, story time? Either way, comment your opinion below, take care and stay hyped and subscribed since future content will arrive very soon. Good night, Britain!